Hi, this is Vaughn from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to go ahead and look at these watercolor pans that I got. I've gotten the Jane Davenport's watercolor pans before. This is the neutral palette, and I love those colors. And if you look at the swatch, they're pretty nice for skin tones. There's a lot of skin tones in here. So it's very nice. So this is the neutral. I did also get the brights, and I love the colors of the brights. So I also wanted to get her newer set, which is these. These are called Giltz-Sea, and these have more greens and some reds, and so it's more like a green and red, a little bit of blue. This one is more primary colors with purples. And then this one is more like flesh tone. So you got a lot of more oranges, neutral colors, black and brown. So this one does make a nice complementary set if you have the other two. Joann's has a coupon for 60% off. And so that's why I got this, because I did get it for 60% off. So it came out to like $12 and something cents. So I decided to get these. I also went ahead and got one of these, or actually two of the collapsible brushes from Jane Davenport. These are detail brushes, and look how perfect they are. They just, you pull them and they become a full brush, detail brush, and you can even leave this in the container like that. So I got two. I'm thinking about giving one of these to my daughter for her for Christmas gift, like one of her Christmas gift out of many that I'm planning to give her. So I more likely will keep that there and give it to her. These, I use also the 60% coupon on these, and they came out to $4 and something cents, but they're usually $10. This is $29.99. Not a bad deal for these watercolors if you don't use a coupon. But like, you know, there's always coupons, either Michael's or Joann's, minimum for 40% off. So I always go with a coupon to get my watercolor sets. So let me go ahead and unwrap these, and then we'll swatch them out, and we'll compare these to these colors to see if there's any colors that are very similar or the same, or they're all different. I'm thinking that they're all going to be different colors, because more likely Jane created her set so that way they complement each other and not repeat each other. So, but let's go ahead and see that. So let me go ahead and open these up. I don't want to bore you with that, and I shall be back. So I came back because I want to show you a trick to prevent them from sliding, because sometimes you put them in and they slide around. And I've seen some people put glue at the end, you know, some of that glue dots or whatever to keep it in there. I don't do that. What I do is I push this in a little bit, just a little bit, and then when I open my pan and I put it in there, it snaps in place, and see, it doesn't move. There's no movement there, as you can see. Okay. The thing I've noticed is that the cards this time are more texture. They're like watercolor cards. I think it's not it could be Bristol color or watercolor, you know, like 90 pound. It's not like what she used to use before, which is this smooth surface, and you really don't see how it really reacts with watercolor paper. You do see the nice color, so you can see how it's going to look, but you really don't know how it's going to look on watercolor paper. And I always have watercolor, this book, which I swatch out my colors in this book, so it's just a one that I use, so that way I know the true color that it's going to come if I use watercolor paper. So I do have it open, so we're going to swatch it out here as well as here. And then these brush has like something on there, so to keep the bristles nice and form, they do put some sizing in there, and I believe that's the right term for it, or something. So you want to take that off. So what I do is I just use my fingers to kind of release the bristles, because they're like, it's like a kind of like a glue, I think, or something. And then I rinse it off, and I use a towel to clean off my brush. So now is seems to not have that sizing on there, or whatever they put on there to keep the bristles, keep its shape. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start swatching these out. So before I swatch them out, I like to moisten them a little. And then I go ahead and swatch them out. So this is Water Spirit. And let's look at Water Spirit. Water Spirit's more like a greenish, like an olive green, I think. A really dark olive green. Let's go ahead and swatch it out here. See, it has like a green undertone with it. Nice color, actually. I do like that color. Now let's go ahead and, this is Sylph. I think that's the name of it. S-Y-L-P-H. Sylph. So let's go ahead and swatch that out. And I'm going to swatch it out on my watercolor paper. That's a really pretty color. Very pretty. And then this is Need Read. And it's a blue tone. And let's go ahead and swatch it out here. Just a little bit more water to make like a wash. Not bad. I like those. Look how pretty those three colors look right next to each other. I love that. Really, really nice color. This is going to be Ariel. Very nice color. Oh, that is a beautiful color. That's Ariel. So far, I'm really liking them, and I don't think they're the same as any of her other watercolors. Love it. I really love these colors. Next one is going to be Frolicsome. Put some water in here. This is Frolicsome. Very nice color. Very nice color. I really like that one as well. I'm liking all these colors, and I do like this brush. And this is going to be Trez or Trezzy or Treze. T-R-E-S-S-E-R. Wish the names were easier to pronounce for me. That's a nice little yellow. Okay, so now we're going to go to Sea Nymph. Very pretty, very pretty. I'm going to go ahead and do it down here because I want to see if they're about the same. Oops, the wrong one. They're kind of similar to me, to that one. Sea Nymph and Need Read. It's a little, just slight difference, but they look very similar. Enchantress. Let's look at that one. Oh, that's a nice color. So let's put it underneath this one. Very nice color. It's a little darker green. This one is more like has a little more yellow green, and this is a little more darker green. Now Lorelei, And I'm probably butchering up the names, but let's look at this one. Okay, let's look at this one next to this green. It's a little different, but they are kind of similar, a little different. Good for leaves, because then you can have those different tones on your leaves. Next one is going to be Sea Mist. Very pretty. Let me put it here. Actually, once it dries, it's a different color. Sometimes when it's wet, it looks similar. And that one, that green is a little more brighter than the other greens. So now it's going to be flirtatious. Nice color. Let's put it in between these two. That's a very nice color. And last but not least is the Alchemy. Got fly. I'm in the garage and there's a fly running around my garage. And that one's not bad. Okay, so those are the colors of this set. Now let's compare it. They're more like the bright colors. So let's compare the colors in the bright for her set. And let's see what we have here. Apple and Alchemy is similar. So let's go ahead and look at Apple right next to Alchemy. And I think Apple is this one. Yep. This is Apple. Let's put it right next to each other. No, it's different. As you can see, it's different. And let's see if there's another similar color. As you can see from the last set, maybe this buff. So she has a buff, but the buff here, it's a little brighter. So let's look at buff. This is buff. Let's put in between this one. It's a little different. It's more bluer. These have a gray undertone, and this is more true blue. Okay. So far, really, nothing is really repeating itself that I see. These two are the ones that I think is more similar to each other, which is the Nereid and the Sea Nymph. Really close, but not quite, because this one's a little more a darker grayish blue than the one above. Now let's go ahead and open this one, which is my neutrals. Well, actually, this is the bright. This is a neutral. This is the bright. So let's look at the brights and let's see if any of these are similar. So let's check out the blue. Definitely this blue it's unique, but this blue, let's check out this blue. Okay, it looks different to me, so I'll bring it up to you in a moment. And then let's check out this blue. Okay, let's look at these. And actually, we should probably wait until it dries. But already you can see they're different. This one, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but this blue, it's more like, it has a little purple undertone, this blue. This blue is a more darker gray tone. This is a more grayish tone. This is a little more blue, true blue, more brighter, and then this one has a grayish undertone. So, in all, they're different from each other. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the yellow. So we have a yellow here, yellow here. Let's look at these yellows. So this is from, well, we already know that one. Buzzy. So let's look at the yellow from the Buzzy. So let's look at the yellow from the bright color. And let's put it right next to each other. This yellow is more brighter. It's more like a lemony yellow, and this one is more opaque, more subdued, I think, than the bright. So the colors from the Giltz-Sea, it's a different yellow from the bright set. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at other colors. There's really no purple in this set. There's not a lot of purple other than the brights, so the purples are unique in the brights. There's pinks, unique in the brights. Let's look at the green, because there's a lot of green in this set. So let's look at this green. There's only one green, two greens, a bluish green, and then a more true yellow lemony green. And they don't look at all similar. So if you take the one from the brights, see, it's very different. That green is very different. And definitely the blue, this is Mermaid. It's a greenish, bluish tone. So actually that may be similar to this one, which was, actually, which one was that? Yeah, that one was this Lorelei. So it's similar to this one, I think. So let's go ahead and re-swatch it just to make sure. So I'm going to take this one, swatch it out here. And now I'm going to take this green, this is Mermaid, and swatch it out. There's a slight difference between the bright one and the Giltz-Sea, but there are different. So once they dry, you can see as they dry, they are very different. Sometimes with watercolors, when you first lay it down, it changes, it lightens up. And you can really see the true color once it's dry, not as much as when it's wet. That's why it's always good to do color swatches, because what you see here is not going to be exactly what transfers over to your pages. So I do recommend these watercolors. I really like how they're laying down. I really like the pigment. So especially if you get the coupon 50 to 60% off, it's a steal for these watercolor pans. So I hope you like it. And oh, and one tip before I forget that I want to give you is, when you're using watercolor, at least this is my practice that I do. When I'm using my watercolor paints, I let them dry completely. I do not close it and store it away, because I don't want fungus or any bacteria to grow in it. So I leave it to air dry completely before I store it away. Same as my brushes. I will not recommend that you close this brush and put it away. Once you finish with it, wash it off, and I will leave it open. And your brushes, you want to let them dry flat. Do not dry them. Now this one doesn't have a ferrule, so we're pretty good. But like your good brushes, you want to go ahead and let them dry either flat like this, so the water doesn't seep in there, or if you have some tool to hang it up like that, that's even be better. So if you dry it hanging up, or flat is preferable than putting it away in a container. Because I keep my brushes, my good watercolor brushes, I keep them handy in this little container like this. But I do not never put it in this container until it's completely dry. Then I put them in here, because I don't want any chances of the water seeping into the ferrule and loosening that ferrule. But if it does loosen the ferrule, you just put some glue and it will tighten up. So I'm going to lay my brush flat and let it dry completely. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.